For more now on how the situation in Ukraine is being seen in Russia and the price exacted by Western sanctions and other economic moves, we turn again to special correspondent Ryan Chilcote, who is in Moscow. So, Ryan, hello. We are hearing that Vladimir Putin looking at sending more troops into Ukraine. What do you know about that?
So the context of that is that the Russian president was having a video conference with several officials, including Russia's defense minister, Sergei Shoigu. Sergei Shoigu told Vladimir Putin that about 16,000 volunteers from the Middle East would like to go to Ukraine and said that it would be a good idea for Russia to allow them to do that. Vladimir Putin responded by saying, look, we have all of these mercenaries from around the world pouring into Ukraine to fight on the other side with the support of, as he put it, the Kiev regime's Western sponsors, and that they're doing that openly. So we should effectively facilitate these volunteers' desire to go to Ukraine. Now, presumably, we're talking about volunteers from Syria. That wasn't included in his comments, but remember that Russia helped the regime in Syria in 2015. Now, analysts will tell you two things. Vladimir Putin here clearly keeping to this principle that he has of an eye for an eye. So if the West is doing this, then we're going to do it as well. Send in these volunteers, as he put it, especially because, as he put it, they won't be paid. Although you could argue, or some would argue, that this is really reciprocal. And the second thing I think analysts would say when they they heard that from the Russian president is that this is Vladimir Putin indicating to everyone that he has no intention of backing down in Ukraine. Judy?
And Ryan, it is also the case that Putin seemed to be saying that there's been some positive movement in negotiations with Ukraine. What is he supposedly referring to?
Yeah, you know, that's not entirely clear. We heard from Ukraine's top diplomat earlier in the day saying that there had been zero progress. Look, Russia has three stated demands in Ukraine, and they are that Ukraine demilitarize, that Ukraine recognize the territory that Russia either recognizes or controls. The final pledge or demand that the Russians are making, I should say, is that Ukraine agree to be a neutral state. Well, Ukraine has indicated that they would look at some kind of pledge where they would say that they would not join NATO. But again, they are not prepared to cede any territory at this point. Jody?
And then, Ryan, the other development here in the United States, President Biden announcing new sanctions on Russian diamonds, Russian vodka, and seafood. He also announced that the G7 countries are going to be revoking Russia's most favored nation trading status. How is all that being received in Moscow?
Well, look, the Russian view is that U.S. trade is much smaller than European trade. So I think, you know, if the G7 follows suit, then that would be a much bigger issue. And we have heard that the EU is prepared to move tomorrow when it comes to the most preferred trading state. You know, EU-Russian trade, the Russians said about a third of their exports to the EU, as opposed to 5% to the United States. So that's something clearly we're going to have to watch. Jody?
A lot of moving parts. Ryan Chilcote joining us on a very cold night in Moscow. Thank you, Ryan.